This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 and it has some flippin' cool features. So let me bend your mind with some insane tips and tricks, starting with the cover screen. Right off the bat, let me show you this cover screen because you can do so much with it. If you swipe right, it opens up notifications where you can see everything from SMSs to emails, Instagram, you name it. Swiping left goes to all your widgets. Swiping down opens up quick settings where you can toggle on the torch, adjust the brightness or the volume. Then swiping up opens up Samsung Pay, which is pretty amazing, and from there you can just tap any NFC card device and ka-ching, your money will go off. To change the clock style, you can just tap and hold, then swipe through all the different various options, or right at the end, if you click on cover screen settings, you get a lot more different customization options. So you can choose to change the clock placement, or if you click on customize, there's a couple of options to choose from, or the color wheel, which I mean, you can pretty much choose any color. But to get it to look even better, you can change the wallpaper, and the insanely cool thing is you can set it to a video. You can adjust the length of the video as well as pinch in to zoom in or out. So I just downloaded this super cool graphic video, but of course you can use any video you even took with your phone's camera. And now anytime you turn the cover screen on, this video will play, and seriously, this is just the coolest thing ever. Like, it's pretty wild just how much you can customize the cover screen to make it look and feel exactly the way you want. But back inside the cover screen settings, you can also adjust the widgets. So you can turn certain ones on or off, or you can reorder them to get to your favorite ones faster. For example, music and direct dial. This direct dial is so cool because you can literally call anyone from your cover screen. So as soon as you select your contact, it'll instantly start calling them, and then you can chat. But the best thing with the cover screen has got to be when you double tap on the power button, it opens up the camera. You can swipe up or down to choose the different lens you'd like to use, or if you swipe left and right, you can change to portrait or video mode. Now you can use the main cameras to take as many selfies as your heart desires. But the cameras don't just end there, because they've got some pretty cool snapping features. Once again, this cover screen comes in so handy because when you first open up the camera, on the top right-hand corner, you'll notice this little icon. And if you tap on that, it changes the cover screen into a preview window. So basically, whoever you're taking a picture of can also see themselves and get a perfect pose. Another great camera feature with the Flip 4 is split screen mode. This is amazing when you need to basically take a photo without a tripod and there's no one else around to help you. So you can just place it down on any tabletop, use the gestures and take some pics. And it could also help with a bit of extra grip, kind of making it like a camcorder. Then another cool camera feature is this little icon over here, which turns on motion mode. With this mode, you can now capture a few seconds before and also after you hit the shutter button. So now when you go back into the camera, you'll see this option to view motion photo, and it's kind of like a live picture. But the awesome thing is you can go to any one of the frames, click this button, and save the exact frame you want as an image. Then if you scroll through the different modes to more, in here you will see hyperlapse. With this mode, you can select the shutter time over here, and each option will actually tell you what it's made for and the best type of time lapse it's good for. Here's one example I took of us working extremely hard in the studio with the 30 times shutter speed option. And if you thought that was cool, just wait until I show you how you can get an entire time lapse with just one photo. So after taking pictures with your different camera modes within Gallery, if you click on Edit, of course in here you can adjust the light, saturation, all that jazz, but if you click on these three little dots, you will see even more options like this one, Spot Color, where you can actually pick what color you'd like to keep or remove from your photo. This is really useful if you'd like to mute certain sections of a photo and make other sections a bit more vivid. But what's even better is if you select this color mix option, because with this you can pick a certain color in your photo and change it. So you can adjust the hue to make it a completely different color, adjust the saturation, as well as even the luminance. There's a lot you can do. You can get super creative with this and get some awesome results just with a few taps and no Photoshop skills. But now to turn a photo into a time lapse, all you need to do is take a sweet looking landscape picture and you'll get this hidden icon pop up. If you select it, your flip 4 will turn that photo into a 24-hour time lapse. This is literally insane because the results just look so good and real. Plus, it only takes a few seconds to turn your picture into a time lapse. So that is a total flex from Samsung, but their flex mode gives us a fresh new angle on multitasking. Okay, so if you're in any app and tilt the screen to an angle, you'll get this little flex mode icon. And now if you select it and turn on flex mode for that app, the app will actually shift up and you'll get a few extra features at the bottom. So you can adjust the brightness, you can also change the volume from here, and get this, there is even a touchpad. So the minute you start using this, you'll notice an arrow on your screen that you can easily use to navigate your phone. So just by turning on this flex mode, you basically turned your Flip 4 into a laptop with a trackpad and even a keyboard. Having such a long screen does make it great for multitasking, but it is still a little bit tiny, so don't expect a full laptop experience. And the other nice thing is some apps actually come with their own custom layout specifically made for this mode, like YouTube. Then multi-window is ridiculously useful because you can split screen any application if you go under advanced features, then labs, and turn on multi-window for all apps. You can also toggle on swipe up for split screen, so this is just a very nifty gesture. If you take your 2 fingers and swipe up over the home button, it'll instantly split screen the app you're on, and then you can just go ahead and select another one. So those split screen apps will work perfectly alongside each other. And don't forget, you can also adjust the window size if you want one app to be a little bit bigger. But believe it or not, we can take it even further with the Edge panel. So you can drag and drop an app to replace one that's already open in split screen, or you can drag and drop one in the middle for a pop-up view. You can then move that pop-up app anywhere on the screen. You could also minimize it if it's kind of getting in the way, which I wouldn't be surprised, or you could even make it see-through. I have no idea why you would do this, but the important thing is that you can, and there's even more. You can also switch that split screen and save it in the Edge panel menu, so you can quickly open up that saved setup next time. But the Edge panel has a few more tricks that you've gotta know. Alright, so if you head into your settings and go into display, you can scroll down to Edge panel. Here, you can actually customize the heck out of your Edge panel, because how it comes straight out of the box is not exactly easy to see. So you can choose a different color. You can also adjust the transparency, so whether you want it to be super visible or not. You can also adjust the size, and then finally how thick you want the panel to be. You can also position it to the left or right, but I like to put it near the bottom on the right, near my thumb, because that is just the most convenient. But here's the thing, if you go into your panel options, you get a whole bunch of different panel types, from contacts to weather, or you can just edit your main one by dragging and dropping apps into place, basically completely customize your Edge panel. But here's the insane thing, you could even go into the Galaxy Store, and here there are a whole bunch of free as well as paid side panel types, like this one that looks like Apple's control center. Like, look, it does cost a cup of hot chocolate, but if you're coming from an iPhone, it might just make you feel more at home. Speaking of home, let's move on to the home screen. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the Flip 4 has a pretty long screen compared to most phones, making it kind of hard to reach the top apps sometimes. So the first thing you can do to help with this is to put your Edge panel at the bottom near your thumb, like I said. Game changer. Or just by tapping and holding on the screen, you can go to settings, then under home screen grid, select the 5:6 ratio. This will help you add more apps to the bottom of the screen where you can reach them much easier. And if you tap and hold again, then select widgets and add a smart 4x1 widget. You can place it under your apps, and now you can actually edit and put a few extra widgets inside that widget. You just tap on add widgets, and then you can add Netflix. You can also add Spotify, whatever it is you want. And coming from someone that loves Apple's widget stacks, a thank you, Samsung. But we are still not done, because if you go into settings and scroll down to advanced features, here just switch on one-handed mode. Now if you swipe over the navigation bar, bam, the entire screen is so much smaller and easier to reach. You could adjust the size or even switch it to the left side. It's totally up to you, whatever's easiest. So that's actually really useful for the Flip 4's long screen, but here's the thing, we can actually make the screen even longer. So if you want to make your Flip 4 screen even longer, just head into settings, then display, and swipe down until you see navigation bar. In here, switch from buttons to swipe gestures, and instantly you'll notice a difference. This will remove the buttons from the bottom and make your screen a little bit longer, but it actually makes a big difference. Here you can see just what a difference removing the buttons make, and getting used to the gestures is not that bad. You just swipe left or right to go back, swipe up for the home screen, swipe up and hold for recents, and if you're already in an app, just swipe over this little bar to switch apps. Okay, so I showed you a gesture on how to make the screen a bit shorter as well as longer, but there is one more hidden gesture. So if you go back into your advanced features and select motion and gestures, you'll find a finger sensor gesture, and you can toggle on to open the notification panel. So every time you swipe down, the notification panel will open. This makes reaching your notifications much easier no matter what app you're in. Honestly, I can see so many different uses for this. Like, imagine zooming in and out with your camera. But who knows, maybe with a future update. The power button also has a double press feature that automatically opens the camera app whenever your Flip 4 is open. But if you go back into your advanced features and into side key, you can actually change it to open any app you want. So I like Spotify, I toggled that one on, and now anytime I double tap the power button, my Spotify automatically opens. Just know that if you change this and your Flip 4 is closed, you will not be able to open up the cameras anymore. And while we're at it, it's actually a good idea to change the press and hold feature to power off instead of Bixby, because who uses Bixby anymore? And speaking of power, you can actually give your Flip 4 a few extra years of battery life with this next feature. Once again, inside settings, if you scroll down to battery and device care, then select battery and scroll down to select more battery settings. In here, you'll be able to toggle on adaptive battery. And now, if you're like me and like to have a lot of apps open in the background, your Flip 4 will actually automatically detect which ones you don't like to use too often and put those ones to sleep to save on the battery. But to really save on your battery and keep it going for years, make sure to switch on Protect Battery. Now, the next time you charge your phone, you'll see that it'll only charge up to 85%. This is actually what helps it go a few more years and keep it happy and healthy. Okay, so now that your phone is going to last longer, here are a few quick tips that you've just gotta know. Now check this awesome feature out. Back in device care under memory, you can select RAM Plus and change it from 4 gigs to 8 gigs. And what this actually does is uses your phone's storage space to create more virtual memory, so you can have more apps open and split screen modes work better. You'll also find another great feature within your lock screen settings called contact information. Here you type in your contact information and whatever text you want someone to see on your lock screen. So if you ever lose your phone and someone manages to find it, they'll have access to your info on the lock screen and hopefully use that info to get in touch. Otherwise, it's bye-bye. Speaking about getting in touch, you can answer phone calls from the cover screen, or what you can do within phone settings under Flip options is toggle on open phone to answer calls. And now the next time somebody phones you, you can just answer with the flick of a wrist. Hello? But don't flick it too hard or it might just jump out of your hand. You can, however, jump onto these 2 videos for some more Samsung and Android action, but I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!